Hello, everyone. My name is Anita Israel. I am so glad we reached the end. A little bit about myself. I'm married, mom of four kids, auntie of a lot. So I have a lot of experience with little ones in the school, out of the school. Um, some of the reading material that I want to highlight is honestly the book because when you look into it, it's not a lot that you didn't know. You think with previous classes, like I know how to observe a classroom. With the chapter book, you're like, well, I didn't know I needed to do all of this stuff when observing the classroom. So that was really a really good thing. Some takeaways for me. Deep diving doing the research into the schools just in the neighborhood, it was kind of shocking because unfortunately, a lot of schools in my community did not have a lot of resources, for bilingual students. It's kind of just throw them an IEP and give them a translator, and that was it. So that was something I really, really looked at. Also, knowing what to look for when I started applying for jobs because being an inclusive teacher is something I'm going to thrive for. And if the district I want to go in or the school I want to go in is not really inclusive, then that's not really a good fit for me. So I've learned that doing that research allows me to be a knowledgeable candidate, not only knowledgeable, but kind of fits my standards because I don't want to go somewhere that just throws them an IEP. What else are you offering these families, these children, versus instead of just, oh, we're going to give you an IEP? What are you doing? How is it celebrating the different holidays and there's just People Day, Cinco de Mayo? How are we going to celebrate this with these families? Um, Another takeaway is knowing how to create and how to make a relevant lesson plan that's culturally relevant and how to implement it because we've all been doing lesson plans for a while now and never once have we thought be like, okay, well, how do I make this relevant to other cultures? So doing that really allowed me to kind of free dive into a lot of other stuff, into a lot of other sub areas that when I do, lesson plans for other classes or even for in my school, I'm like, okay, this is how we can modify if it needs any modifications. If we have to say this is what we're doing to make this relevant to all of the other students, I know how to do that now from those projects that we did. Milestone one. I don't know, this may seem kind of basic, but finding culturally relevant places in my community. I don't do it a lot, even though my husband's side of the family are Hispanic. I'm Native American and black, so I don't. And I don't know. It's crazy because I have so much diversity in my family. It's just bananas. But I never really thought about it. So now I know where a lot of places are in my area and outside of my area that I can use, that I can utilize for my children and my nieces and my nephew when they come visit. So that was a good thing. Milestone two, we were again talking about into the school curriculum. What do they do to really help the children, help the families? How do they do it? What programs are available? And that's kind of touching on milestone three. Like I said, a lot of times it's IEP and translator. If you're not in a area that's mainly that culture, you don't have a lot of openings for other cultures to be celebrated. So just doing a deep dive into that, and that kind of touches on milestone 2 and 3 a little bit. But I also noticed going into other schools, I will look for, when applying for jobs, what bilingual programs do you have? because in my classroom, going into the classroom this fall, I'm going to have translations, at least two or three, and I'm actually working on those now, creating that for my special need babies, because I'm going to be at a special needs school. Um, just making sure I have that, making sure they're comfortable. Um, so something that I just want to talk about was the lesson plan. Like my lesson plan, it normally I can do a lesson plan in like 20 minutes. This one I had to really take time, do further research into all of the sub areas that I wanted to talk about, and do things that was gonna be kind of mind-boggling for the kids, but also making it culturally relevant. Excuse me, it's Sunday. Sorry, but doing that, it just gave me so much more insight, so much more materials to go through. Um, Doing the lesson plans, I picked a lot of teachers' brains, and they were looking at me like, "What is wrong with you?" I pick brains. I'm a brain picker, so just doing that, making sure I'm doing it correctly is was very good. And now I know how and where to look when doing those lesson plans. But other than that, this has been a really eye-opening class. I really enjoyed it. Hope you guys did too. We're at the end. If those are you that are graduating, congratulations. For those of you like me, the end is near. It's coming. We got a few terms left. We're almost done. Thanks, guys.